Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to lecture 23 of SBL, and today's topic is e-business. All this while we have been studying about business, right? The name of the subject is strategic business leader. So how come we forgot about e-business, right? No business will operate without e-business, especially in nowadays, right? Everything is now on electronic, everything is online, right? Whether it is your consumer goods to any services that require, everything is on electronic platform now. So we definitely need to understand the biggest game player that has ever happened, that is the e-business, the impact of this, right? So let's start. That what are we going to focus on this? And before I start this, let me tell you the chapters that I've taken for this lecture are the combination of two chapters. One is chapter 19 and chapter 20 from your Kaplan textbook. We are going to focus on e-business, supply chain management, because it says e-business value chain. Okay, to understand the value chain, basically you need to understand the supply chain management, because that is the place where you create value. Porter's value chain. Okay, how e-business can have an impact on Porter's value chain. We have already covered Porter's value chain in the previous lecture, but now we are going to look at from the point of e-business. Disrupt technology, right? Technology which uh, wipes out the established businesses, the new technology that comes. So these are the four areas we are going to focus on this. And we don't have any questions. Okay, I'm not going to cover the test your understanding from this lecture, but make sure that you do it. Okay, it's not compulsory that you have to do it on, but if someone wants to have an attempt, they can do it. But I've not covered it, because when I'll be touching the revision kit, I'll be covering it there. Okay, and mind you, in your exam, you're definitely going to get a question on technology and data analytics. There is no doubt about it. Now the question is, I don't know whether it is e-business, whether it is the controls of the data or the big data, we don't know. But you're definitely going to get a question from this area. Okay. And imagine if the case study that is given to you is a e-business, then you definitely have to know the majority of this portion, right? E-business. What is e-business? We talked about e-business, e-business, e-business. Everywhere it's there, right? What is it? It is defined as the transformation of key business process through the use of internet technology. Everything remains the same. You are doing a business, but you are doing it on an electronic platform, right? Now you are using the technology, the internet technologies you are using to carry out your business. That's the transformation. Next, what is e-commerce? See, e-commerce and e-business are two different things, okay? Do not get confused. That's the reason I have put this definition here. E-commerce is a subset of e-business. E-commerce is a part of e-business. It comes under e-business. The biggest topic is e-business. Under that we have e-commerce. Okay, e-commerce is you are buying and selling products and services online through the internet. That's the generic definition. Okay, you don't have to know uh, detailed description is not needed. Knowing general is enough. Okay, now go through this for a minute. This will show you the categories of e-business. Now in e-business, not all e-businesses are same. There are types of e-businesses, and you need to know these types of e-businesses, why they are different, how they are different. Okay, there are four categories. Who delivered to whom? Is it business to business, business to consumer, consumer to business, or consumer to consumer? These are the four combination. Okay, and they have abbreviated. They have used the first B2B, B2C, C2B, C2C. These are the four categories of e-business. Okay, we are definitely going to go in detail what is the difference between this four. Okay, examples are given. As you can see, business to business is vertical net, business to consumer is Amazon, consumer to business is Priceline, and consumer to consumer is eBay. Okay, now let us go through this. First is business to business. Okay, example is a supermarket information system. Okay, is automatically placing orders into supplier's IS system. That means you as a supermarket automatically are placing order into your suppliers system. So that is business. You are a business, you are operating. Supermarket is a business. You are placing the order to a supplier, that is also a business. So business to business. This is an example. Okay, who is placing order? The first B stands for who is the one who's initiating it. B, business to business. Both has to be business. Then it is named as business to business. Okay, supermarket is ordering. If it was you as an individual ordering, let's say you are ordering uh, from Amazon, for example, then it's not business to business. You are not a business. You are an individual ordering from Amazon. Then it will be business to consumer. But this is business to business. Okay. So the next one is, this is easy, business to consumer. Okay, you are getting your books over the internet like Amazon. Amazon is selling you books, music, whatnot. So simply selling over the internet to the consumer. That is business to consumer. This is the biggest market that we all know. We are familiar with it. Consumer to business. This is kind of little which not many are aware of, or you don't know the examples for it. See, some internet sites, they display a selection of suppliers, offering from which the user can choose. Okay, a model that largely depends on the internet. Here, the consumer is given to the business. What does it mean? See, some internet sites, they will give you this selection of supply offerings. Okay, let's say there are three suppliers. Supplier A is offering this, supplier B is offering this, supplier C is offering this on the internet. But it is you, the user, is going to choose out of these three suppliers. So you have the choice. You, the consumer, you are choosing from it, A, B, or C. See, it is not business to consumer because supply is not giving you what you want, but rather you are choosing. The consumer has the power to choose here. You understanding? From the supplier's this thing. Then consumer to consumer. One is like your auction site, like eBay. One consumer is selling to another consumer. You want to sell your car, or you want to sell your pen, right? You take a picture and put it in the eBay site, and then another consumer comes and contacts you and get it. So that is consumer to consumer. Amazon also does this. Amazon is into this also. How? They do this same by offering second-hand books. Okay? But if it's a first-hand book, then it's business to consumer for Amazon. Okay? Now, knowing these four types of e-business, now let us come to the stages of e-business. There are four stages of e-business that you should know. What is the beginning stage? Stage one. You just have a web presence. It's just your web is there. You're not doing any buying or selling, right? You just have a web page. Okay? No transactions are carried out there. Okay? In that website, you must have seen some website, they give information about the product. They give their contact details, the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. Okay? So just they have that web presence so that consumer, if they want to know about the company or the product, they can just go to the website and just check the details. That's it. That is stage one. Second stage is e-commerce. Now you're buying and selling. So this buying and selling, what does it do? It cuts out that middleman. Remember, in normal transaction without e-business, you need a middleman, retailer, wholesaler, okay? To before it reaches to the final consumer. From manufacturer it goes to retailer. But now you are cutting that middle because you directly are selling to the consumer through internet. But other than that, there is no change in the nature of the business. It remains the same. Buying and selling. That's it. Only the middleman is cut. Stage 3 is integrated e-commerce. What is integrated e-commerce? Integrated e-commerce means information is gathered about consumers' buying habit. Okay, using that you can target the individual consumer. Precisely, you can communicate or what message you need to send, right? How to promote them. So based on this, now you can start predicting demand. Then stage 4 is the e-business. Then your e-business starts. Okay, this is very fundamental to your business strategy. Okay, once you are stage 4, you're going to set a strategy that this is how you're going to carry out a business. This will be this thing. Okay, so these are the four stages, and it is in this order only. Stage 1 is web presence, 2 is e-commerce, 3 is integrated e-commerce, and 4th is the e-business. Now let us illustrate this better. To know these 4 stages in real life, let us take a real life example and explain you this. So let us take a book selling industry, okay? A small or an independent second hand bookseller, okay? So they can place themselves as stage 1. How? They can just have a website, that's it. They're not doing any buying selling online, but they just have a website. What services they provide, what types of book they sell, what location they are in, okay? So they are currently in stage 1. Now see, whenever information is given to you in your case study, you should be able to identify at what stage of the business is this company in. Is it stage 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay. If they have just a website, it's stage 1. Now they might consider to move to stage 2 because just having web presence is not enough, it's not going to give them any revenue. So they consider moving to stage 2. How? Examples like large national retailers like Burns and Noble, W.H. Smith, Page One, they have moved on to stage 2. How? They are selling, buying and selling through the internet. Okay, with the same prices as in the books that are available in stores. Now we are moving to stage 3. Over the few years, okay, the business might move to stage 3 also, where they're going to offer additional online content. Right, they already have their e-commerce sales, but if they want to improve, they should know the customer's buying habit, right, so that they can predict larger consumer and they can exactly give the consumer what they want through their purchasing habits and all, right? Or things like they might give author interviews, deleted chapters might be given there, or previews of any new books is there, right, so that they can give a more complete package of a product and service rather than just that book. So through, why are they giving all this additional stuff? So that they can capture more information about their consumer and later they can predict the demand in the future. This is a technique they are using before they come to the final e-business. Okay. Next, stage 4, and Amazon is right now at stage 4, right? So this is their sole focus for a strategic plan for book selling. Sole, that means entirely this is the platform where they are selling their books, and it's very strategically very important for them because this is their sole purpose. It is not something that they have kept it aside. They run their business, the main process is through this. That is e-business, stage 4. Okay, so I hope that this illustration gives you a better idea of the stages of e-business. Now, benefits of e-business. Everything has a benefit, everything has a drawback. What are the benefits? Some benefit, okay, you need to know. Okay, I'm not saying write down all the 10 benefits. Depends on the marks. Okay, so benefits of e-business is cost reduction. We all know this is one of the easiest. Okay, second, revenue will be increased. Okay, if you're able to manage your customer, see, managing customer offline is easier than online. Sorry, managing customer online is easier than offline. Why? Because in online you have data. That's why we do this data analytics and all those things to come up with a pattern, a trend, right? We know which customer is buying from where, so we can use a package called customer relationship manage, through which we can manage our customer better. But in offline it's a little difficult because they are coming to the shop buying a certain thing by giving you card or cash. Okay, you have to physically go and check which product in the shelf is customers picking on, right? That's more difficult and it takes time also, there's a delay. But online it's very easy, the moment they pick up, you know. So through that your revenue can be increased. Okay, I mean, check, the biggest revenue that is earned is by whom? The one who is doing businesses online, Amazon, right? One of the wealthiest men, if you have to see, is the CEO of the Amazon, Jeff Bezos, right? So that means revenue is increased here. That's a evidence that revenues are increased online. Better information for control. Yes, more information you have, you can control them. You can monitor the website sales, but monitoring the store sales is very difficult. You have to contact the other stores, right? All those things again, it adds up to your cost. Increased visibility. It's very visible. What gets bought automatically comes online. You cannot hide it. Enhanced customer service. Customer, yes. If you know what your customer is actually ordering, you can enhance the service also. Improve marketing, you can market better because now you have more specific information about the customer. So you can mail them also accordingly with some special offers maybe. Market penetration. How? See, even the smaller supplier can gain a global presence via the internet. One biggest example of market penetration is myself that I have done just now. The reason why my channel have grown so much, the global presence that it has got is because I'm just one individual, right? I don't have a team. I don't. All the lectures that you do is made by me. Okay, whatever the subjects, all the subjects. But you must see the global presence that it has reached. That means I've somewhere penetrated the market. Why? Because of the internet. Because of the internet. If I had to do the same thing teaching ACC on offline, it would take me years to get that position, right? Get that presence. I cannot target the global presence. Maybe some limited students might be coming up to me. So that's the thing. One of the biggest examples I've got myself. Now let us move to the barriers to e-business. Technophobia. Not many will like when you are upgrading to e-business. Staff might resist, right? Because they might think that they need to learn new software, they might need to learn new things. It takes time and no one wants to invest their time learning new things, especially when they feel they are experienced enough, right? They might think their job might be cut off. Security concerns are there. Yes, e-business is good, but on the other hand, what about the security concerns? So much of data, right? And we have this data protection laws and all. And we have seen earlier how Facebook has breached the data protection law in 2018, I think. Setup cost is, yes, there are setup costs. You need to set up, you need to make sure internet is there. Your suppliers have the internet. Your customer should have the internet. Your business should have sophisticated data analytics package in the company so that you can analyze the company, analyze the customer. Running cost is there. Running this, there's a cost. You need staff who works 24/7 because e-business is 24/7. There is no closing and off time there, like in store. 24/7 machine has to run, internet has to run, and to run those machines you need staff. Limited opportunities to exploit e-business. Opportunities to exploit e-business is limited. How many people are there on e-business now? Look at the competition level. If you have to compete locally, let's say you have to open a fashion shop or maybe girls wear, okay, footwear or dress, you want to open a shop for the women's footwear or whatever. You have to open a store locally. Competition will be maybe let's say a 5 or 6 in your local town. But if the same thing you have to do it e-business, there are thousands of who are one who are already doing it. So to capture the market, it's you need to come up with very creative things, and it's very difficult. Opportunities are limited, but if you crack the opportunity, you will be getting massive returns. But opportunities are very limited. Okay, if you do not get returns, you will be just at an average, right? Limited IT resource in-house. Yes, if you're having a limited IT resource in-house, you need to invest in IT resource and it's expensive. Customers not likely to be interested in e-business. Yes, sometimes some type of products you cannot sell it in e-business, like grocery stuff. They need to see whether the food is fresh or not, right? Then requirements needed to deliver an e-business strategy. Okay, these are some business area where e-business has an impact. Let's go through this and what is the strategic aim for that. First is, okay, see, connection to the internet will itself not deliver e-business. Just having internet will not give you an e-business. You need a suitable hardware, you need a software, and you need a business process that has to be in the place. Okay, so business area. One area where e-business had an impact is research and development. How? Now you can use internet for research purposes. Earlier, it was not like that. You had to read books, you had to go on the field and ask people, do a survey, interview. Now, internet reduced all those things. You whatever you need, just Google it and you will get it. What is the strategic aim? Okay, now second reason, second how e-businesses impacted is access to research database. Now you have a huge access. Just Google it. YouTube is there. Google is there. Thousands and thousands of articles you will get on a particular topic if you are researching. So you can just sit at home and do your research and development. Access to patent databases. Earlier, it's hard to get databases which are patent. Now it's very easy. The strategic aim is what? So that you can be a leader in the innovation. You need to research and develop, okay, if you have to innovate. So the main reason why e-businesses is there, e-businesses has impacted is now you can be a leader in innovation through using internet for research and development. You can develop unique and differentiated products because the more information you have, quicker, quickly you can innovate. You can innovate faster than your competitor. Second is this design. For design, now we have computer-aided design. No longer you have to manually design. If the design goes waste, again from scratch you start, waste of money. No. Computer-aided design will give you the idea or visualize how it will look like a product. A product 3D, 2D, 4D, right? Strategic aim is so that fastly you can produce a new product and service. You can design and you can come up with the product very fast. And computer-aided design, which is CAD, makes design faster as well as cheaper also. Manufacturing and service provision. Here, computer-aided manufacturing is used. Strategic aim is and just-in-time inventories also. Okay, if you know what is just-in-time inventories, you place an order and the inventory comes. No longer you have to have the stocks in the warehouse. The moment you demand, the stocks come. Only when you demand, the stocks are there. Okay. Main aim is what? So that it becomes more flexible, cost is reduced, and it is tailored to the customer requirement. Right? Next is communication with the customer. We all know this. Website and email. Okay. Strategic aim we all know so that we can communicate with customer faster and cheaper. Inbound logistics. That is the organization of the supply chain. Okay. Strategic aim is what? So that cost is reduced. Inventories are low inventory balances. Okay, inventories which are kept at your supplies are low and flexible manufacturing. The buy side e-commerce transactions. Okay, automating the purchase cycle. Earlier this was manual and it takes a lot of days. Now automate the purchase cycle. The moment you need to purchase, automatically the system will tell you or the system will place an order. So this low cost as less human intervention. Rather than human placing that order, the system itself will place an order when it requires a purchase. So this reduces the cost. Same for the other side also, outbound logistics. This is the organization of the distribution chain now. Okay, that means your distributor's chain. Here also same, low cost, low balance, fast delivery to customer. And the sales side, e-commerce transactions. Automating the sales cycle. So here also same, low cost as less intervention and greater accuracy also. Now, what are the advantages of intranets and internet? We need to know this because internet is the main thing which we are relying on. One is intranet, one is internet. There are differences. What is intranet? Intranet is like an internet, but it is only for the internal stakeholders. The ones who are in the organization, no one will have access to it. Internet is global, everyone can have access to it. Intranet, like only your manager will have access to it, right, within the organization. Any confidential information about the company, intranet is used for that purpose. Intranet inside the organization. Okay. Advantages is we all know employees will have access to vast source of external data. Okay. And having this external information, they can improve the quality of decision making. Second, organizations can advertise their goods and services on a website. Okay. Third, they can use the internet to purchase goods or services, the organization. So because they can use the internet, it saves time as well as money. Okay. For example, some businesses they need to purchase some standard items. Standard items always they need to purchase, like stationery items, pen, pencil, your paper clips, right? All these things regularly it needs to be purchased. Okay, they are called as standard items. So what do internet do? Automatically internet knows that this is the you set that at this month of the time you need to place an order for this. So internet will do it. Internet will take care of it. Okay, they will place an order with the supplier, or they will give you a reminder that you need to purchase this item by this date, and to reserve hotel rooms and purchase travel tickets. This also internet can, internet can be used to reserve an hotel room as well as purchase a travel ticket. No longer you have to go to the travel agent and get to know when is your flight. You can just check on the internet. Next, both whether it is internet or intranet, you can use it as a mean of email system. Okay, communication through email is much faster and decisions can be taken much faster also, which reduces your quantities of paper. You don't need long papers, right? Voluminous of papers are reduced. Okay, so using email also helps. Otherwise, imagine how many non-productive time you have to spend will be spent by the employees on the telephone just to call their customer, the supplier, right? It's non-productive time. Rather, through email the time is much saved. Intranet intranet creates an opportunity for a flexible organization, so that even employees are away from the office, they know what's going on through the IT system because they are connected through their ID system. Disadvantages. Number one, email, even though we say email system is fast, efficient, but it has become very inefficient now. Because if too many messages are sent, we don't know what is relevant, what is not, what needs to be acted urgently, what does not. So we treat large chunks of email as a junk email and we never even respond also. Second, email can be quite disruptive, especially when you're working and email keeps coming on your screen all the time. It will distract you, right? Third, senders of email often expect an immediate response. So if they do not get an immediate response, this can lead to a uh, what do I say? Create bad feelings for each other. It might impact on the relationship between the two people, right? Then employees might waste too much time looking for information on the internet. Sometimes they don't act; they just look for information on the internet and waste time and hours, which is not value adding again. Without suitable control, internet is very harmful. Think about the hacking, personal information, the consequences of it. Because now, because it's internet, large amounts of things are shared on internet, are there on the internet, so it could be misused easily, right? Making website interactive, because we need a website for a business. Now we'll see how can you make a website interactive. First, search. Make sure in your website there should be a search button. People should be able to search there, for example some word or some phrases or anything or any key topics. Okay, user should be provided with that ability. Okay, and you should consider in what format the results has to be presented. You have to decide in what format. Second, online forms. Make sure online forms are there. How many number of fields should be there? Okay, what needs to be verified before the user submits that form? For example, have they completed the field for email address? Like some, if you see sometimes when you want to submit a form, you cannot submit because maybe email address is incorrect. You didn't fill that form, completed that field. So things like this needs to be designed beforehand. Members only selection on the site. Some sections are only for members. You can have that also. And these sections are usually those where you can only access with a username and a password. Okay, so you have to see whether how this username and passwords will be stored, who will handle people, how will you handle the people who forget their password. Okay, then interactive questionnaires, surveys, polls. Okay, how many or how long, how are they presented, what will you do with the information provided by the user. If they give you the information also for your poll, what are you going to do with it? These things you need to take care of. Then we have animation. How can you or how should you use Flash or even other programming devices to bring life into your site? Maybe you can illustrate your product and service through animation. Subscription email list. What users subscribe? What can users subscribe to by the way of email list such as e-newsletter? If you are giving them an e-newsletter, what can they subscribe to? Link to other sites. Is it giving link to other sites? Okay. Downloadable files. Sometimes you see in some you can download files like PDFs or images or audio files. Okay, in what format? Okay, how many and in what format do you want them to download? Then contact us. You must have seen. Go to any web page, okay, which has all those features. Or some might have some might not have some. Just go through 2-3 web pages. You can understand this better. Okay, so contact us details is there, like email is there, or telephone is there, or address is there. Then site map is also sometimes there. Now most of the time maps are there. You will see their location there. Okay, maybe a link is there or a diagram is preferred. Text only version of the site sometimes is there. Will you need a text only version? Okay, multilingual requirements. If it is there, then how many languages? In how many languages will it be presented? Okay, then provision for printing and bookmarking. Okay, it allows users to store the website address in their browser's memory or favorite section. So are users able to bookmark specific pages? Is the home page sufficient? All these questions needs to be answered by you, and you have to take care of this before you design the website. Then now we are moving on to the supply chain management. Okay, this is your chapter 20. So supply chain management, just go through this diagram. You can see there are two suppliers. One is direct supplier, one is indirect supplier. Direct and indirect supplier 1. And then we have direct supplier 2. Then we have ABC Manufacturing Limited and customer. Okay. Direct supplier is directly giving to the manufacturing limited. Indirect goes through the direct and then that direct goes to AB manufacturing. Okay. So what is this e-business doing? See, supply chain management will become more feasible now. Okay. Like from selling to delivering to ordering to designing or manufacturing. These all functions can be linked electronically. Now, when you have to order, you will do it all electronically. When you have to design, all electronically, manufacture, electronically, deliver, electronically. But it will allow some advantages. What is it? Just go through the bullet points at the end. Cost saving. Your cost is saved, time is saved, faster innovation can be done, better you can market, and quality is improved, which is not included there, but it's there. Okay. Now there are two supply chain models which you need to know. One is known as push model, the other one is known as pull model. Push itself tells you what I'm talking about. What do you do when you have to push a door? You push it so hard, right? So like that, you are pushing the product also. You build a product, what do you like, what do you feel there will be a demand for, and you started pushing to the customer. Okay. Second, push model. It is led by the manufacturer, the one who decides what the product design will be. Then third quality is product quality is often determined by raw material suppliers and component manufacturers. They decide what the product quality will be because they are the one who's making. No, so if quality is bad, it's their fault. If it's good, it's again they take their credit. Product are not so much personalized. They are standard products. Okay, so that's why their setup cost is low and economies of scale they can achieve because their standard product can be made fastly, right? So for this, inventories are built because they are the one who are making. Let's say they are assuming 50 products will be sold, so they will build up the inventory also like that because they are waiting for the customer to demand that. Okay, this another name is make to stock. You are basically making the product to keep it in the stock only. Second model, which is I prefer and everyone prefers, which is a better model, is pull model. This works the other way around. Who starts? It starts from the customer. Customer is the one who is going to place the order, and then you are going to start building the product. Second, this is known as make to order. Customer places an order, then you make, rather than you making and then pushing it to the customer. Okay, here personalization is achieved because it is based on the customer's demand. Inventories are minimized. Just in time is used, or total quality management is used, like in Toyota. Okay, lead times can be much higher because you are why lead times are higher? Because lead times means the time it takes for the stocks to come, because you are depending on the supplier. Your relationship with the supplier needs to be crucial if you are depending on jet or TQM, because you don't have any stocks in the inventory, so it will take time for stocks to come. Okay, setup costs are higher in this case because it is based on the individual customer's demand, and also economies of scale cannot be achieved. That's why your cost will be higher in the pull model. Just know the differences of this push and pull model. Okay, this is something very easy. The pull business model is less product centric. See, the pull model is more about the customer than the product. You understanding? So in the pull system, okay, now we are taking this to the electronic platform. Customers use electronic connections to pull whatever they need out of the system. Okay, so electronic supply chain gives the customer the opportunity to give direction to the supplier. Okay, so ultimately it is the customer who has a direct voice in the functioning of the supply chain. You see how everything changed? It is the customer who has the control. Now let us go to the advantages of e-commerce. E-commerce creates a much more efficient supply chain compared to normal. Without just a commerce, e-commerce creates a much more efficient supply chain. It affects customer as well as the manufacturer. And companies can better serve customer needs also, because inventory is kept of your. Okay, so these are the two advantages. Now we are moving on to the illustration 3, adding pull system to a supply chain. We'll take an example of, here they have taken example of Nike. We all know Nike, right? Yes, the tick mark. We all know, we can visualize. So this is another thing, which is Nike ID. Okay, Nike ID allows customers to to choose their own lace color, to choose their firmness of the sole of the shoe, to choose their own color schemes. Okay, they can even add a personal name to the running shoes, right? That's what Nike has introduced. They wanted to make it more personalized for the customer. Traditionally, they were using push model only. They build their shoes, okay, running shoe. They were in the running shoe industry, we know, and then they want to sell. Now they are coming with a pull approach. Okay, and this product is known as Nike ID, where customers will decide what type of shoes they want, what design they want, right? They even allowed customers to create bespoke designs on the Nike website. Okay, from 2009 they have extended this even to the iPhone app, where customers can just choose from there. And sometimes customers can take a picture of the color they want, and then they can send it to the Nike, and Nike will design the color according to the customer's want. Now, Porter's value chain. Okay, so the traditional value chain was criticized. Why? Because it was designed, its design is primarily to describe the manufacturing business. Okay, it does not emphasize the importance of customer. It is based on the product rather than the demand, rather than the market led. Okay, but now, okay, as you just go through this market research, then we have new product development, then we have we market the product, we purchase the material, we produce the product, and we manage selling and delivery. This is the traditional value chain, where we make the product and we try to push model. Okay. But in terms of this model, e-business enables companies to do what? How e-business can help? Carries out continuous market research as products are ordered and sold. Okay. Continuously you keep on doing market research. It's just not one time market research that you just research and then you make a product and stop. Continuously you have to keep on researching the product. You have to see which products are sold. If it's not sold, why it is not sold. If it's sold, why it is being sold and how you need to do better. Okay. This e-businesses will help better because market research is more possible through e-business, and you can say which products are ordered and sold through e-business. And also you can use the results of this continuous monitoring to order goods, design new products, or even give them some special offer. Okay. Gain greater flexibility and the speed of response. Flexibility will be more through e-business. Your speed of response also will be high. Then note that the last point, that the whole supply chain must be flexible, not you alone, your whole supply chain. Okay. Because there is no point just one company knowing what its customers want if its suppliers and distributors cannot respond to it. Just you knowing what your customers want is not enough. You have to ultimately rely on a supply and distributor, so they also have to have that kind of supply chain, right? Now, upstream, you are going to learn two words. One is known as upstream, the other one is known as downstream. SCM is supply chain management. Upstream supply chain management. What is it? Upstream supply chain management is you are leading this to purchasing of raw materials. The key activity of upstream is e-procurement. You know what is procurement? Where you purchase raw materials and all. Now it is e-procurement. You are going to do it electronically. That is the meaning of upstream. Okay? Electronic procurement. Okay? Through the internet you are going to purchase or sell the services and right, goods. So its overall goal is to streamline the purchasing process. You reduce the purchasing process rather than having this long chain of processes that needs to be done to purchase. Streamline so that it reduces cost, speed is increased. Managers can focus on other strategic matters rather than have to worry about this purchasing process. Procurement, right? Purchase cycle. You go to the purchase cycle. Okay, first you need to know how purchases are done in an organization. What is that cycle? Because without this you will not be able to understand e-procurement. First you need to know the normal purchase cycle, right? Okay. Identifying when items are needed, how many are needed, and gain authority to acquire them, right? You first need to identify. Obviously when you have to purchase, how do you purchase anything? You first identify that what items you need, how many you need, and you have to gain authority also to acquire them. You just cannot purchase whatever you want for the organization. A person who is responsible for it, they need to give you that authority. Okay. Then you need to find suitable supplier. Then you need to choose which supplier to order from. After having 3-4 suppliers shortlisted, decide which supplier based on the quality or the price or anything it could be. Then you agree the price, negotiate the price, okay, or maybe a range of prices depending on the volume that you want. Then you order the goods from the chosen supplier and you receive the goods into the organization. This is the purchase cycle, okay, in any organization. Then after that, it's not over. Once you receive the good, it's not over. Check the good that are ordered and the handling requires. Check whether the goods are correctly ordered or not, whether you have got the right goods or not, whether the quality is right as it was before you ordered. Then record the goods in the inventory, where it will be kept in the inventory, or non-current asset if it's a non-current. Store the goods. Okay. Then you need to receive, check, and process the supplier's invoice. With the supplier's invoice, you have to check whether you have received it, whether you have checked it, and whether it is processed. Then you pay the supplier. Okay. Or if there are any discounts, then you pay the cash. So e-procurement. Okay. What does e-procurement do? It is the electronic method at every stage of the procurement process, not just one. Okay, from the identification through to the payment. This can be broken down into 3 stages. One is known as, I have highlighted in bold, one is known as e-sourcing, one is known as e-purchasing, the other one is known as e-payment. From the identification to the purchasing, sorry, to the payment, you are using electronic platforms, not just the payment or not just the purchasing. E-sourcing, how do you source the goods? There also you're using electronic. How do you purchase? There also electronic. How do you pay? That is also electronic. So e-sourcing, e-purchasing, e-payment. Now let us go through e-sourcing. Okay. E-sourcing means how are you finding your supplier? This is also you're doing through electronic mediums. You are finding new supplier and you're establishing contracts with them. Okay. So e-sourcing, what do? They save your time and money. You can even source supply from other countries also very easily. Okay. You can issue electronic invitations to tender and request for the quotations. Okay, so issuing electronic invitations to tender and request for quotation reduces these things. Administrative overheads are reduced, costly errors, right? Sometimes rekeying of information is minimized, and the time to respond is minimized. Next stage is e-purchasing. See, e-sourcing is the first stage. Okay, after that only comes e-purchasing. After that only comes e-payment. E-purchasing covers product selection and ordering. So these are the features of e-purchasing system. Okay, electronic catalogs are there for some core or standard items. Okay, recurring requisitions are there. Sometimes some purchases always needs to be ordered items like your stationery items, right? So for that we have a list for regularly purchased items. So later if you want to add an additional product or delete, you can delete it from that order. Electronic purchase orders are dispatched automatically through an extranet to the supplier. So we went through intranet and internet. Extranet is your internet is connected to your supplier and your customers also. Okay, that means extranet is not internet, it is not globally, it is only within the organization and also your external supplier. Extranet. Okay, so if through an extranet to supply you are connected, okay, you can make an electronic purchase order and dispatch it also automatically. And detailed management information reporting capabilities. Now we are moving to the third and the final stage, that is e-payment. Payment also is done electronically. So electronic invoicing and electronic fund transfer. Okay. Again, e-payment can make the payment process more efficient. Okay. For both the purchasers as well as the supplier also. It reduces cost, error. These are the advantages, right? Now, so this efficient saving, okay, can result in cost reductions for both the parties. Okay. Now we are moving towards the benefits and the risk of e-business. One is savings in labor and procurement cost. Better inventory control. Better control over suppliers. Okay. Reduction in error. Risks are you are over reliant on over the technology. Staff might resist. Cost savings might be there, but not so much. Not a material cost saving. Prices may become out of date or uncompetitive. We are talking about the supply chain management, the e-procurement and all. Okay, so the risk is price may become out of date or uncompetitive. Now we are moving towards the downstream. Downstream is towards the customer. Okay, so this is about managing relationships with both customer as well as the intermediaries also, if there is there between you and the customer. Examples of downstreams are you provide displays for retailers, create a website for end users, create user forums on websites, determine which retailers and distributors to use of different logistical methods or providers. Okay, Changes to finished goods inventory policies. Then settling recommended retail prices, giving retail exclusivity rights, and forward integration, where you integrate with the customer. So these are the examples of downstream supply chain management actions. Okay, you don't have to memorize all this list. In your exam, you will never, they will not ask you give examples of downstream supply chain, but knowing it will help you to understand what it means if it's given. Imagine if you have never heard about downstream supply chain, if it's given in the exam, how will you know what you need to talk about? At least if you know it's about customer, you'll be talking about the customer side of thing, right? You need to create a website for them, you need to create a user form for them. Now, advantages and disadvantages of downstream. So advantages is it can tie in customer and increase the switching costs. Your customers become more tied towards you, so they will not go to the your competitor. Okay. Next, customer loyalty is improved and they are retained also. Market visibility is increased. Provides better information on customer needs and taste. Disadvantages is it is expensive to implement. Okay, you need sophisticated tools for that. As a differentiation strategy, it is easily copied. Even other organization also can do downstream supply chain management, right? It relies on suppliers' willingness to adapt to customers' needs. Okay. Then organization might become reactive rather than proactive to the customer needs. Sometimes they just react to the customer's needs. From beforehand, they don't take care of the customer needs. We have some more advantages. Product failure can be reduced because you are really taking care of customer. Can facilitate the pull supply chain management. This is more like pull. You are making products based on the customer's demand. So more regular and better communication with the customers also. You can provide them product updates and all. Give users a voice. User has a voice. Customers, right? Disadvantages are forward integration can increase business risk and exit barriers. What does it mean? When you forwardly integrate with your customer, your business risk might improve. Sorry, might increase. Right? Exit barriers and exit barriers also increase. If you want to exit, let's say, if you want to go back before you integrated with your customer, forward integrate, you cannot go back. It's difficult. Exit barriers are high. Because if you exit, you might lose the customer. You might lose their loyalty. And it's risky also to handle more now. Must ensure that forum and website users are representative of all users. When you are making some forum or website, users are representative of all the users, not just some. You're not biased towards a particular user. Require skills and experience for the benefits to be fully realized. You need experience and skills. There's a risk of loss of focus on core competencies and activities. When you do downstream supply chain, you are working more towards customer management and all those things, but you are losing focus on your core competencies and activities. Dealing with intermediaries. Now, there are three terms that you need to know. One is known as a disintermediation. E-commerce can lead to that. What is it? The middleman is cut from the supply chain. It is taken out of the supply chain now. Disintermediation. Earlier, there was an intermediary, a person between you and the supplier, you and the customer. Now that is no longer is there, it's removed because you can directly sell to your customer. Second, process of re-intermediation, where new intermediaries are introduced to the value chain, or at least to some aspect of it. Counter intermediation. What is it? Established firms create their own intermediaries to compete with established intermediaries. The ones who already have established intermediaries, what do the established firms do? They create their own so that it can compete with the established ones. Examples, because I'm sure you didn't understand the definition. Maybe disintermediations, yes, but the other two it's a little difficult. Okay, anyway, disintermediation. Example is in the travel industry. Now you don't need any travel agent. Okay, you can just book directly with the hotel or the airline or the rail company. Okay, For re-intermediation, again the travel industry. Companies like lastminute.com, expedia.com, they are like your new travel agent now. So something is cut off means it needs to be replaced with something else, no? So if they are not there, at least in online, lastminute.com, expedia.com, they are now your new travel agent, which gives you a wide choice of product and service. And for counter intermediation, example is opodo.com. This is set up by a collaboration of European airlines to encourage customers to book flight directly with them. Okay, they have set up this counter intermediaries. Why? So that customers can book flight directly through them rather than using other cost comparison intermediaries like lastminute.com. Now we are moving to the last topic, that is disruptive technology. What is an example of a disruptor? Uber. You all must have heard about Uber. It is an example of a disruptor technology, right? Uber gives a passenger service. Okay, what did Uber do? The moment Uber came, you don't need any licensed drivers, a vehicle fleet, or a local booking services. No longer needed. Instead, what Uber did is they just changed the business model using technology. What did they do? They customers now can use the internet, that is connected to connected device, to hail a ride. Okay, through the internet they can book a cab, and right in front of you it will be there in your location. And all payments, whatever the payments, are handled by a smartphone app. So you're just using the internet, that's it. Internet to connect and internet to pay. What did Uber do? Disruptor. Why? Because they've disrupted the established firms. Sometimes established firms are completely wiped off the market because of a new uh, firm which have used technology, which is disruptive technology. Because completely they have changed their entire business model. Complete change. It's like a 360-degree change, not a small amount of change. Because the existing business model already completely they have disrupted. Uber, which is the traditional passenger service, I mean. This Uber, let me give a little background about this Uber. How powerful disruptive technology could be. Uber was set up in San Francisco in United States. Okay. Initially, their key competitor was Yellow Cab Cooperative, right? But whilst Uber has grown to a business that is worth 60 billion US dollars, 60 billion, can you understand? At that time, Yellow Cab, they filed for bankruptcy. So you see how they have changed. The competitor suddenly becomes bankrupt and you are having a worth over 60 billion. This is the power of disruptive technology. That means if you want to be a disruptive technology in the future, you need to come up with something great, not small amount, very great. Entirely you need to change the system. Okay. Fintech examples. One example is fintech. This is in the financial sector. Zopa. What is Zopa? Zopa is a peer-to-peer, or you can say person-to-person loan company. Okay, that means Zopa uses this technology that allows a person to borrow money. If they want to borrow money, okay, they will match this person to another person who wants to lend money. All these are done electronically only. Okay, so no longer you have to go to the bank and borrow. A person only will give, you can borrow from a person only. But Zopa, what do? They just match the borrower with the lender. Another example of fintech is there, which is a company called Betterment. What do? They become a financial portfolio management platform. So you no longer need a typical financial advisor. Okay, where a financial advisor will advise you how you need to manage your fund. No. You just need a smartphone app, okay, to get your investment advice and manage your investment portfolio. The advantages that fintechs have are better use of data because everything is done online. Okay. So because of this, you can understand customer better also and give them a wider choice. Second, a frictionless customer experience. using elements such as smartphone apps. More personalization is there of product and services. Lack of physical presence is there. So because of that, your overheads and operating costs are reduced, and access to cheap capital to fund growth. Okay. So fintechs gives a wide scope for raising cheap finance. Now, cryptocurrency. That is another example of disruptive technology. What is cryptocurrency? It's like a digital form of money. Okay. Hundreds of cryptocurrencies now exist. It originates from Bitcoin. Okay. Each provide different attributes. Like you can name it as Zcash. Okay. If you want to know more about cryptocurrency, I would say you Google or Bitcoin. Now, so that's it. Now we are going to summarize what we have went through. E-business. Okay, we started with e-business. We went through the benefits and the barriers. Okay, that market penetration, cost reduction, facilities e-marketing. These are some advantages. Disadvantages are expensive to set up and it requires new skills. Then we went through supply chain management, upstream, downstream, right? We went through e-sourcing, purchasing and e-payment. E-procurement reduces cost and provides better control. Downstream gives better information to customer. Then we went through disruptive technology, where we said that using technology to provide a different business model than the existing established business model entirely have changed, like Uber, cryptocurrency, fintech, and existing rival needs to be prepared to add to it if you want to overcome this. So that's it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lecture.